good evening, my YouTube subscribers and my subscribers to be. I'm your host, Josie Latimer, coming to you once again with another story. This time, it is a story. It's out of Salt Lake City, Utah. The story is about MACKENZIE LUECK, a young college woman that went to meet a stranger that she had met online on social media. This particular person that she met allegedly was really buff from what I heard. He had the body built, and also he was of Nigerian descent. With his Nigerian accent, he possibly made her feel very, very into him because of the charming personality he probably portrayed to her. The young lady caught a plane and she landed and she called and let her parents know that she made it to Salt Lake City, Utah airport. That was the last time her parents heard from her. The Lyft driver said that he dropped her off at a park. Now, this was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I feel that that Lyft driver should have reported to the police that I dropped this beautiful young lady off and I saw her get in the car with this individual. I would have been sharp enough to even jot down the license plate because I wouldn't want that on me that night I drove a person to a park, a young girl or a young man or anybody. That time of the morning, that's pretty eerie and weird to drop a young lady off at a park and you don't report it to the police. You don't take the guy's license plate number. You don't let the guy see that you saw them so that that will protect that individual, your client that you dropped off. I think that was pretty awful because I would have done that. And I'm a woman. That's how I think. I would have done that to protect that girl, just to let that man get eye to eye contact with him, to let him see you see me, I see you. I dropped her off to you. Okay? Even if the guy was in his car, he still could have given him eye contact or pull up next to the car or something of that sort just to help this young lady out. Well, first of all, she shouldn't have went. First of all, she shouldn't have went. She didn't know any better. She met him online. He told her all of these sweet nothings because I recall meeting a guy with a Nigerian accent in California, and I was young around her age, and it really, really sounded good, the accent, the voice, and all of the lies that he told me. He told me many, 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 many lies, and he was also married in Nigeria. I don't want to put down any other nationality, but I can say that I had a bad experience with a Nigerian man, just like she did, but it caused her death. And I had moved to California, I didn't know anybody, and I met this Nigerian, and he had this accent going on, and I was like, oh, I love your accent, this, that, and the other. And so, by her being young, like she was in her 20s, he was in his 30s, he was 31, and she was in her 20s, she went for it. She went for it and she went to have a good time with him. And he allegedly drove her to his home and killed her. He possibly raped her. They're not really going into detail about that, but he had the nerve, and he was the dumbest. And the reason I'm saying he was dumb, because why would you take a woman that a Lyft person dropped off to you? Because he didn't really know if that Lyft guy saw him or not, or he could have been smart enough to watch and see. See, he thought he was slick. So he probably did peep out of one eye and see that the guy didn't pay him any attention. And this is what gave him his lead way to go ahead and murder this young lady. So actually, the neighbors saw him burning things in the backyard. They didn't know what it was, but later, when the cops found out, it was some of her items that he was burning in the backyard. They found tissue on the property that linked him to her. He was actually the murderer of MACKENZIE. Unbelievable. This young lady had just left her grandmother's funeral, so now she's in heaven with her grandmother. How sad. And he had the nerve to tell the police I've never seen her when in fact her picture was in his on his property. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Some people think they're so smart and they're too smart for their own damn good. And he was one of them. And no telling what he did to her. He could have beat her. We don't know what he did to her. That was so sad. I am so, so sad about that. And my heart goes out to Mackenzie Lueck's family. I really, really, really sympathize, for them, with them. And I just still can't believe it. And so with her being just a young girl, bubbly girl, she just didn't think something like that would happen. But young women never go in anywhere, any areas, quiet, lonely areas with no man that you meet online or no man, period. When you get to know somebody, make them meet you in a public place and also let them know, I have given your information over to my parents, my girlfriend. Let them know, somebody know where you are. And that way they will be afraid to do anything crazy because they already know that you have told people that they would have been the last person that you would have been with. Always remember that. My mother taught me that from a baby. You get license plates, you do background check, and you let them know this. You let them know up front. Look, before I get involved with you, I'm going to do a background check. And I have people watching me all the time, so they're going to know everything. You can even say, I know investigators, I know people that watches me. And that way you'll know if they're really into you. Because if they are into you and they really like you, they'll stay with you. And if they're not, if they're rapists, murderers, killers, stranglers, or whatever, they will run away because of the fact that they are afraid that they're going to get caught, because you already know investigators, police officers, and all of your family and friends know who you're with. And you have to get their ID and make sure, and never go in a quiet area or a park or sitting in the car with them or none of that until you make for sure they know that someone else know who you are with. I feel so bad for Mackenzie because she just didn't know this. She didn't know. And then that Lyft driver, I am so, so, so upset with him. And also, another person I'm upset with, I feel that should have helped her. His estranged wife. Now she comes out and she tells the police, if you need me for evidence for the trial or whatever, I'll be there because he tried to kill me too. Now she tells them. She should have told him long ago, and that probably would have saved this young lady's life. Why now you're going to come out? You should feel bad. That woman should feel bad because he came after her and she had to jump out of a window, and he still ran down the street with a knife. He cut her on the arm, on the hand. He cut her, and she didn't go back to him. She left him. However, at that point, she said, I never went back again. Well, at that point, she should have went to the police department and reported him. And maybe Mackenzie would be alive today. So now you want to come out, oh, I'll testify because he was mean to me. He was abusive. He was controlling. He almost cut me. And he probably would have killed. This probably would have been me. Yeah, but it probably wouldn't have been her if this estranged wife would have called 911 and alerted them. And then he would have known that they are on to him. You see what I'm saying? So whenever people see something wrong, they need to report, act on it. Don't wait until someone is murdered because you didn't act on it. So now she comes out, oh, I'll testify, I'll do this. She's a day late and a dollar short, as my daddy would say. It's ridiculous. So what do you guys think, subscribers? Thank you so much for tuning in to my audio. I'm doing this late tonight, so I don't have a picture up of myself because I just came across the story. And what do you guys think? Do you think if that Lyft driver would have did some type of gesture to help her, that she possibly would still be alive? And also, do you think if that estranged wife would have turned him into the police, would that have helped her to still possibly be alive? Please let me know. Click like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about the Mackenzie story. And as always, I thank you so much for tuning in and being my subscribers. And I thank you for the new ones that's coming on board. I'm your host, Josie Latimer. Thank you for watching Celebrity and Variety Talk, and I'll be coming back with more. Good night.